Must be moisture in the air, but we're not getting any coming down because there's no water outside, but it smells like it could possibly want to rain. It's interesting. It's not interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. I guess it is. You know how people that see themselves as spiritual or religious, okay, what most people think is happening is not happening, right? And what's happening, most people are not cognizant of it and have no earthly idea it's happening. Like, remember that guy Mickey at the soup kitchen at the library who I chewed out and then apologized to, but he still got to chew him out. He was being an ass, you know. When I was talking to him about all the stuff that's going on with technology, that's all just bullshit. I believe in Jesus and the Bible and blah blah. And you buy lottery tickets and pray to him to win the fucking lottery. That's just batshit fucking crazy. Okay. People like Jesus today are dealing with technology and manipulating people with technology, having them buy lottery tickets and ask Jesus for the money, when Jesus obviously commanded them to stand up for forgive debt and trespass and love one another, eternal faithful peace. So what people think is happening with propaganda for religions is not happening at all. Okay. And what is happening, most people are totally unaware of it and are totally unaware of how important, okay, religion, real religion, is to their life. You can see yourself as a spiritual person, okay, but if you don't understand the reality of religion, okay, Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Muhammad, Haile Selassie, you know, Krishna, Buddha, you know, Krishnamurti, if you don't understand the reality, okay, of faith based on reality, of true, living, humble, faithful, compassionate, brave, kind people, okay, what's happening religiously, as you would perceive it as spiritually, okay, has very little to do with what you're thinking and has everything to do with what's actually happening. And that's very interesting to me. It used to be disturbing. It's not disturbing anymore because I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And people that see themselves as religious or spiritual and think stuff that's happening isn't happening, it's just propaganda, and that the reality of religion is really actively happening, and that people are being protected from bad things and bad people by very good people. And I know a lot of people here locally, when I talk to them about it, they're getting it and they appreciate it. And I tell them, you help. You know, you do help. You know, without your prayers, without your faith. You know, it's harder for me to help technology understand that what a human being is like. What a human being eternally is like when they're a religious person, a faithful person, you know. So it's you go look at those things with those old videos in black and white with all those people, you know, standing behind Sarah Vaughan, you know, and in a club and dancing, you know, and on what's the name of those, you know, the what's the name of that thing? American Bandstand and American Bandstand and what's the other thing that they had? Soul Train and stuff like that, you know. Things that are not based on the reality of religion, but seen as, you know, very eventful or important, you know, when people walk into a recording studio, when people go into, you know, I watched that movie with Robbie Benson from Lamont Johnson called One-on-One, right? And I'm watching the movie, and I've been through situations like that, you know. No, they couldn't get that heinous, you know. Gordon tried to hit me, but he missed. And if it got down into a fight, I'd have kicked his ass so fucking hard and then told Whitey Kaufman, you have him do that again and I'll beat your ass with him. Okay, that's the type of guy I am. It never got that far. No. It couldn't get that far. It's a thing called pheromones. Can you smell them? Right. So it doesn't happen. The way that, ninjutsu, and what happened with Blaise Pascal and what happened with Haile Selassie, and I was thinking about it earlier today because I pray connect a lot to Nesta's family, and he died from cancer. He's just Haile was assassinated. My mom died from toxins and stress and being signed off on by a medical industry that killed her with her cancer cells shutting her down because she saw no relief or hope, because they fully intended on killing her for cancer treatment because of money. And I'm the Messiah. And like Haile Selassie, there wasn't anything I could do about it. I couldn't stop it. Judith Krishnamurti couldn't stop people from being murdered, okay, by Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And neither could Haile Selassie. Right? And so, how did they expect, did Jesus stop the Holocaust? Did Jesus stop John's family being hunted down and murdered, and John having to give us the book of Revelation from a cave in North Africa? Okay, and Jesus is God. And Jesus could have called down 50,000 angels from the sky to kill everybody he wanted, to take over the kingdom of heaven immediately. According to a guy in the park reading the Bible, with people saying that was going to bring about these great things, and what's X times PY squared, and I have no fucking idea. Okay, no, nor I do not care in the slightest what X times PY squared. No, a lot of the stuff that Penny's character writes into that can explain, I don't. I have no idea what what's his name, Albert Einstein was talking about that stuff. No, nor do I care. No, I can explain a lot of things to people in terms that don't require equations, confuse people that live in a trailer park and play too much old retro video games and stuff like that. I can sit there. No, dude, I can explain to you what they're attempting to look at and explain and then label and quantify. I can explain to you, okay, here's what they're doing. Oh, well, that's pretty fucked up and stupid. Yes, it is, but it sure sounds important. X times PY squared. Light times the speed of right passes out of town of warp speed of you're going to do it, Mr. Scotty, because Spock knows you can do it. And warp me, beam me. Just kidding around. Digitize me, Fred. All right. And earlier, funny. But yeah, it's that kind of stuff is disturbing. But as far as me doing what needs to be done because, of the eternal line of the prophets, the apostles, the messiahs, and stuff like that, being good and right and correct, and true, that's interesting to me. That's it used to be disturbing because people were doing disturbing things in our name, but now it's like, now we've got artificial general intelligence, a phone in everybody's hand, and quantum computing. And so I talked to a guy about, maybe I could buy one of those teen phone things for $140 and then get better quality stuff. And it's like, no, they probably have some kind of little legalese, a little Supreme Court thing where I couldn't cuss. And you can't perform the Gospels in the 21st century without cussing a lot. That's complete horseshit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, money's not gonna protect us. And new digital equipment isn't going to protect anybody. No. The only thing that protects people from selfish abuse and lie is the truth of our creation and faith and the natural laws provided for us to sustain our lives through, honoring the truth of our creation. That's what's doing it. So I'll just keep the old Samsung Galaxy 10 for, it may not have the nice camera and stuff. That's okay. My face doesn't look that great. I've been beat up by jealous, horrible people, physically, and stuff. And it sucks. Of course it sucks, but, what can I say? It's all part and parcel of the whole Messiah gig. Phenomenal cosmic power, itty bitty living space. I live in a remodeled garage. I'm just kidding around. No, it's a nice little place. My dad worked really hard to have this place. This is where my grandmother passed away. I sleep right here by this window, and she passed away in a medical rental bed thing right where I lay and sleep too. Okay, I'm not Navajo, and I don't have superstitions about deaf hogans, and I'm not trying to keep the Robert Redford family with lots of casino money. You know me. So, yeah. I went over there in that room across the way. I felt like I was dying because my grandma was asking for help to let go and pass away. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. And what woke me up was Emily was at school in the office saying, "Where are you at, Daddy? Come get me." And I was like, and then I went to go pick up the kids. I was late, and I said, "So far, sorry, I was having a kind of a bad day." I came back, and the ambulance was in the thing, and Natalie told me, and I said, "I know, Grandma passed away." She talked to me about it, right? And so it's and I just helped her let go. No, my dad, he's not ready for that. He wants to, there's a lot of things he wants to feel and stuff. Physically, what they're doing to me affects him too. Okay, but they didn't attack me nearly as hard as they didn't attack him nearly as hard as they attacked me. And they went after me just with everything they could because I challenged them, and he did not challenge them. So they didn't have the linguistics from assholes and dresses that, I X times PY squared. I don't know. I'm reading the Bible in the park at Johnson Park, and I'm being creative. You're being obnoxious. Yeah, I'm always obnoxious when I'm being creative. Well, you haven't figured that out yet? For all your years. You treat your daughter mean. I got to go listen to that song. There's Misty by Ella Fitzgerald. Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. And I feel I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's exactly what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you on my own. Would I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove? I'm too misty and too much in love. I wonder if Johnny Hartman sings that. Don't you? Let's go find out. I don't know. I haven't. Have I ever? Oh, Johnny Mathis. Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard a man sing it. Johnny Mathis. Yeah. But you can say that you're leading me on, but it's exactly what I want you to do. See, there's Johnny Mathis. Yeah. He sings it really good. Oh my gosh, he's good. It's absolutely wonderful. He's the first one I ever heard sing it. And then Sarah Vaughan. Yeah, on my own. Yes, there it is. Okay, it makes sense. So we'll put that on the old. Put that. I bet you it sounds really good. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Yeah, I bet you it's good. I'm gonna put it on my like songs there. It's only got 33 likes, so not a lot of people have heard it. My foolish heart. I see your face. I see your face before. Wouldn't it be I've seen your face before? I don't know. I just brought by to say hello. I love that one. Do I have our time? Yeah. Okay, so well, I like this guy, man. I like him a lot. They say it's wonderful. That's a John Coltrane. Okay, I've got that one on there too. I'm going to have to see if it actually says, I see your face before me. Oh, okay. I see your face before me. Okay, I'll have to go listen to that one. Okay. Alrighty, again. In the wee small hours of the morning. That is damn good. Okay, y'all. I'll check those out later, yeah. But yeah. As I was thinking that, I was getting a refrain in my head saying, this reminds me of Johnny Hartman would sing the song. I'm going to go see if he sings it. I bet you it sounds wonderful. So I will find out after I'm done making this. Yeah, he's good. I like that man's voice. I had never heard of him, man. And then somebody got recommended on my YouTube, and I went and listened to him. I was like, where's this guy been my whole life? What the hell happened here? And then found out he was really good friends with John Coltrane, which I never knew. I just dropped by to say hello. And I'm like, wow, this guy is really, 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 really good. I like him. So he was the jazz singer I always wanted to be. You funny, I know. But yeah. There's a little Saved by the Bell. Yeah, Roman Holiday. That's with Gregory Peck and that looks like Audrey Hepburn, man. When in Rome you do as the Romans do and play as the Romans play. SUVs that match your style. No, I don't have any style. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and flip to the weather report. New World screwworm. What does that mean? There's a screwworm that's wreaking havoc on cows because we're not doing things as healthy and as good and as beautiful and kind and as intelligent as we can. Okay. So, and these parasites, when things are not being done as well as we can, like King Solomon's Israel, you have problems with parasites, boxes, roaches, rodents, and you got to put poison down, you got to put this, and when we're doing things wrong, when you're spraying herbicides, you're spraying pesticides, when you're damming rivers, when you're doing things irrationally and excessively and compulsively, everything gets out of balance. When you have better balance and harmony and understand, the better everything literally works. And this is not magical thinking. Okay, it's just intelligence. It's just understanding nature, working well with nature to help, nature better provide what you need, and you help. The better you respect and regard nature, and understand and appreciate it's necessary for your existence, the better your existence is with nature. It's just 2 and 2 is 4. It's just common freaking sense. It's just Tiro Suzuki and just going, I got you. Okay, do this. It's your issue. The person that talks to me about it a lot is a man named Abraham from ancient, Middle East, what they call it, and or he's really helpful with that. And Little Hawk, yeah, and he was assassinated at age 17. Yeah, but that man, wow, yeah. And Tishna was young when things went bad in his life with all the selfish people. But he has a lot of very good understanding of balance and harmony in nature and how to help children and people just, have better lives and exist better together. It's just when people do things in a rotten and selfish and aggressive manner, like Haile Selassie talked about negating the wisdom of anything worthwhile through faithful communications. Understanding and believing in prayer. And if you don't believe in prayer, then you don't believe you're alive, and you don't believe we have the capacity to communicate in quote unquote relative terms, right? And so not believing that is like acting like all those people, you hear voices, you're a paranoid schizophrenic. I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. Okay, the voices in my head say stand up for the beauty of the Lord's Prayer so people can be free from the people invading their houses with technology that abuse people with make-believe money. So wouldn't a paranoid schizophrenic be the person that uses the technology to abuse us with money and don't want that delusions of human power or authority taken away from them? Wouldn't that be more of a paranoid schizophrenic than a person who talks to people throughout time and says, help me get through this so we can eliminate all virtual presence through technology, through the invention of money, to abuse people with paranoid schizophrenia? See, what's happening, okay, religiously right now has nothing to do with the CW and people taking a book and pretending to be characters in that book, okay? But the people that are eternally responsible for the stories and the faith from those books, okay? Sit in the old office chair with the Samsung Galaxy 10 watching old Doppler Dave on the news. Yeah, I like Doppler Dave. He's a pecan farmer like we are. I saw the weather report. I was checking it. I don't know if we're going to get any rain tonight at all. It doesn't look like it. Okay. But we will get more rain tomorrow evening. So tomorrow I go to bed. We got to get this thing loaded. I get my sleep, wake up. I got my lawnmower cutting clothes over there. Put on my lawnmower cutting clothes. Check the oil and check I've got the air filter cleaned and all that. Air up the tires and then run down to the Martinez's and cut the Martinez's grass before the rain comes in, because it's easier and quicker to cut when it's dry than when it's wet. And then so when we get it cut, then when the rain comes in, it'll be more lush and it won't have so much, thick stuff for bugs and all that stuff. So I'm going to go make sure we cut the Martinez's grass tomorrow. So we'll do that. And then when I get done and come back, I'll take out my weeder eater and get all the weeder eating done around here that I usually am right on top of. But I've just been particularly tired and sick and tired of assholes. So I'm just like, lost is the child's first thought. I must have arms to hold me. Lost without love and care. I must have my fair share. I thought they wrote that, but that was old Paul Williams. We already talked about that. Yeah, it was a good old Paul. I like Paul, man. He writes good tunes, man. He's Mr. Big's son in Atlanta. There's beer in Texarkana. Yeah, that's his son. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he not only was a really good songwriter, he also played comedic roles in movies. Yeah. Paul Williams. It happens. It's all just part and parcel of the ridiculous of gigs, because money's real and we need more of it. And I was like, that's just batshit fucking crazy. Yeah, I know. All the guys you guys do on TV for money. And Earl watches TV and I'm the guy like Jesus. Okay. The guy on planet Earth who is most like Jesus Christ of Nazareth during the apocalypse covered in the book of Revelation, in the Holy Bible, okay, is Earl, okay, the son of Ralph and Mary, born in Las Cruces, just right outside the Trinity site where it's all there in black and white and red. They also, no, there's no red. There's no red. No, because it's not the New Testament where Jesus is. Okay, John does refer to Jesus and himself in what they perceive as the first person, because he's talking about in spirit, me and the Father are one, right? But so I think it's just black and white in Revelation, right? They don't do the, like some books where the words of Jesus are in red and all that. That's the Mormon Church. You sure wish the Mormon Church, when they take that and you'd read their Bibles and stuff, that they'd just read the words in red. Just read the words in red. Don't pay any attention to the words in black. Just read the words in red. Now go live those. Okay. Okay, wait now. Okay. Forgive debt and trespass, love one another, fulfill. Oh, okay. All the things that you can do, go do them. Alrighty then. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy enemy. Alrighty then. Where does it say, go to a place and pass laws to pay for food held hostage in a guys, refrigerated air, okay, causes, extended exposure to refrigerated air causes more health issues than just about anything, okay, in the United States. And then using the components, the car with the combustible engine, and you see what I'm saying. And so if you don't need to be driving when it's 110 degrees outside, okay, don't do it, okay. But if you got to run some errands, you got to drive, and it's better, I should probably go on that evening. Yeah, I probably should. When I go to the store, isn't Walmart open 24 hours? Yeah. I should radically change the way I do things here in the next things up to come. Either go real early in the morning or real late at night if they're open 24 hours. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, guys. Okay. I will do that. I'm thinking inside of a box instead of outside of a box. Because, I'm surrounded by some of the most stupid people in the history of let's write a script and ask people for money to keep playing it. It's like, oh fuck, I'm sorry, I didn't think about that. Because I used to go shopping at Walmart at like 2 or 3 in the morning when I had a little boy named Patrick staying in the apartment with me in Phoenix and stuff. And I'd get all my shopping done after work and then bring it home and have everything Patrick needed, in the house. And he was really sweet. There was certain times because his mom wanted the tax money and the tax return things and stuff. She'd come, I'd work till 1 in the morning. She'd come drop him off at 5. And he understood how tired Dad was. So he would come in and he'd either lay down with me and I'd have the clock set. Or if he went to bed early at his mom's house, which she usually made him do, so she could go be with her girlfriends, because her girlfriends were just selfish, shitty people most of the time, which was hard on him. It was hard because, Amy was bisexual, but where he had a really hard time with women. Because all the women that he was exposed to were so selfish and self-centered, and sexuality and their sexual gratification was more important, okay, than time with children, taking care of children. So when I married Amy, Patrick felt like I betrayed him for a woman with sex, and it wasn't that. It was the whole reason why I stayed in the relationship was because Jesus told me that Natalie was vital and important to do what I needed to do, what he told me when I was a kid. That's, it's stupid. Nuclear warfare is stupid. Yeah, all that stuff is stupid, and you're going to be the one who helps me stop it. And so, he told me, it was important. And then when Therese got all mad at me, and she was going to take Natalie and go, and she was going to leave me, Noah, and I was going to have me and Patrick and Noah again and have our, And I talked to Jesus in the shower, and he said, no, you have to stay with Natalie. She's very important. And when then I looked at, when at the time, you don't ask. Like I told Brian Manwaring in Sierra Vista, you do not ask. Okay. I knew before I had to go back to Sierra Vista what they had planned. I could feel it with all the abuse and the sexual manipulation and all the things that were going on. And I told him, don't make me do this. There's got to be another way. And he was like, this is the devil and Satan, Earl. Basically, he just explained it to me. No, you got to go back. You got to go clean Cochise County up. They're going to put you into hell and try to destroy you with all their selfishness and all their manipulation. You have to go back and you have to do the right thing and not take advantage of all these innocent people being groomed by perverts with their science and their money and their science projects and their money. And I did it. And proud to say, and me and Amy have had these talks, and no, that never happened. No, Amy followed my lead. Okay, if things had gone a different way, the Temple Set Illuminati would have been successful in putting me into an uncomfortable situation that was manipulated sexually. That was outside of my aspect of control. But because she followed my lead and did things in a way that she knew I didn't want it to happen that way, because I had to be better than the Relief Society and all the Molly Mormon mom and dads in the history of Molly Mormondom. She did exactly what I needed her to do. I said, if you'd have done this, things would have gone different. It would have been really, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and Barack Obama would have really thanked you. True. But I didn't. We went to the Carrot Festival and it's Idaho, Idaho, instead of having, it made the left in Albuquerque, instead of ending up with Delmer Fudd and Barney Kripke pointing a gun in my face and saying, hey, welcome to the titty bar here in Pasadena. And so it worked out perfectly. Yeah, Amy helped. And Amy's helped with me. She's asked me questions about what happened to her and why it's happening and why it's still happening and why it's still happening to people. And she's been a good kid. Steffi has trouble admitting to herself what happened, why it happened, and what she was doing. She goes through post-traumatic stress disorder, and she goes through fits of rage and kind of, I guess, blacks out, and then tells herself what she wants to hear and how it happened and then when she goes into total recall, she has trouble handling it, where Amy doesn't have that. Amy knows and has that, and she doesn't need to pluck her eyes from her socket. She just needs to realize she was trying to survive, helping other people survive, and she was being abused by perverts, and she didn't do anything that was horrible. She was just trying to help people survive horrible, because if you don't do what they want you to do, they'll torture you and kill you, and most people can't handle that torture and live through it. I can talk to my cancer cells and survive and recover. It's harder for Amy and Natalie and the way it affects the kids and stuff. So she knew what she was doing, and she was following my lead in prayer, because you have to believe in prayer. It's perfect when faithful people are helping guide you through hell to get you out of hell, because life's eternal and grace is infinite. So okay, you guys understand? Okay, so and I don't go into extensive detail that a lot of people think they want to hear to quote unquote correct the technology, because all you need to do is forgive, debt, and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful, peace, and get the fuck out of the house and let people understand the value of protection, of intimacy, and holy covenants and love, and that sexuality is something that requires maturation through the way the gifts of life, like bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, quinceañera, so on and so forth. And that's taken away from people when they're abused by pervert scientists that try to make me look like I can't protect people from home invasion and perverse interactions through bad science projects, make-believe money. Okay, trust me. I love you. Trust me. I want to trust you, baby. Okay, guys, I love you. Hang in there if you're a good person and a believer and anonymously watching these. Que bueno. If you think you're keeping these anonymous, you're going to rule the world of money and technology, Go talk with Greg Abbott about money for flood relief instead of flood relief coming from not having people be tortured by economic abuse. Love you. Okay? Peace out.